Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to Parth Online Tutorials. In today's class, we're going to start a new chapter and the last chapter of our syllabus in 8th class, that is microorganism. This is chapter number 2 in your book. My dear students, in this chapter, we're going to discuss what are microorganisms, where are they found, types of microorganisms, harmful and useful microorganisms, and food preservation. So let's start this chapter with the help of first three topics that we are going to do. In this video, we're going to do what are microorganisms, where are they found, and types of viruses. First, what are microorganisms? Because we are very much aware of the first word, organism. Organism, we are organism, we are living organism. Okay, we can easily see each other in daily life, but there are many organisms, they are very small and they are present in our body also, but we cannot see because they are very tiny, because they have very much small size. Due to their size, our eyes cannot see. Our naked eyes cannot see that type of organisms which are very small in size. So how can we see them? With the help of microorganism, we can easily see that type of organisms. They are also organisms like us, but their size is very much small. So with the help of three activities, we can confirm are they really exist in our environment or not. First, you have to take a small amount of pond water and take one droplet of that pond water and observe in your microscope in your biology lab. We can see in that microscope there are very tiny or very small microorganisms are floating on the surface of drops. Second case, take soil from your park or your field and mix with the water and make the solution of soil. And again, repeat the same procedure that you have done in the first case. What will you observe? Again, you can see there are a number of small organisms which are floating on the surface of drops in your microscope. Third case, take a toothpick and scrape to your teeth. And again, observe that toothpick in your microscope. Again, you can see there are tiny rod-like microorganisms floating on the toothpick. So what are the conclusions from these three activities? The conclusion is that microorganisms can live in water, can live in soil, and they are living in your body also, inside your body. So what is the definition of this type of tiny organisms? They are the tiny or small organisms which we can only see through microscope, but we cannot see through the naked eye. This is the proper definition of microorganisms. They can be useful, they can be harmful. They can make us food, they can spoil food. Okay. So next, where are they found? As I already told you, they can be found in water, soil. They can be present inside your body. So if I want to elaborate the location of microorganisms, they are very hardy in nature. Means they are very hardy, they are strong, they can live in the volcanic eruption area, they can live in icebergs, they can live in the underneath of sea, they can live on the surfaces of in desert area, they can live in Antarctica. Means because they are hardy, they are strong by their body, that's why they can present in the harsh areas, and even they can present in your body also. So these are the location of microorganisms, means they are present everywhere. They are present everywhere. Okay, so this is the small topic of this chapter. Where are they found? They are present everywhere. So what are the reason? How can they live in harsh areas? Because they form a cyst. Imagine this is a microorganism. They form a cyst around their body. What is cyst? Cyst is a hard covering. This is cyst. Cyst is a hard covering that protect the microorganism which is present inside it. It remains the microorganism. This is microorganism. This remain inactive when the unfavorable condition occur. Unfavorable. What are unfavorable condition? Icebergs, desert area, high temperature, high pressure, unavailability of food. These are the unfavorable conditions for the microorganisms. So when these cases occurs, they form a cyst around their body and remains inactive until the condition become favorable. Until the conditions become favorable. So these are the mechanism which is behind the success of their living in harshy areas. Now, what are the types of microorganisms? They are very tiny and we can classify into their types. Number 1, algae, bacteria. Number 3, protozoa. Number 4, fungi. And number 5, viruses. So these are the main or important microorganisms that we are going to do in this chapter. First, start with the bacteria. My dear students, in the discussion of this topic, types of microorganism, what we are going to do? Basically, these types, we're going to study these types of microorganism one by one. And in each types, we're going to discuss the structure of microorganisms, the basic features of microorganisms, the functions of microorganisms, even the types of that particular microorganisms. So let's start with the bacteria. Let's start with the bacteria. It is a very important microorganisms. So let's start with the bacteria. Bacteria are the very simple and they are unicellular organisms. So why we call them simple? Because they are not complex like us. We are more complex. Why? Because we are multicellular organisms. We are multicellular organisms and we have a number of organs and tissues in our body and they are performing different tasks. But in bacteria, their body is made up of a single cell. That's why we call them unicellular organisms. And that's why they are very simple. You already have done cell chapter, and in cell chapters, a single cell consists of a cytoplasm nucleus and the cell membrane. And a single cell perform all tasks of their body. Because there is no other way. Because they have a single cell. Okay, that's why bacteria are simple and unicellular. Number 2, where are they present? They are present in the air, water, solids, and even inside our body. Means they are present everywhere. Okay, even in this room, in the air, everywhere we can see and we can imagine bacteria exist there. Number 3, how they grow, how they divide, how they reproduce. We have a different method of reproduction because we are multicellular. Bacteria divide with the help of cell divisions. Means they multiply. Their body multiply. 1 divide into 2, 2 divide into 4 and 4 divide into 8. Like this. And a single division take, if a bacteria wants to divide its body, so a single division take 10 to 30 minutes. 10 to 30 minutes means in 10 to 30 minutes their body can be divided into another body. Nearly 250 crore bacteria present in 1 gram of your garden soil. 250 crore bacteria. So you can imagine, you can estimate the calculation how small they are. Really, they are very small. They are very tiny. Now next, the last feature or the last discussion of the bacteria is the classification of bacteria, types of bacteria. We can classify, we can divide the bacteria on their shape, on the shapes of bacteria. If the shapes is rod shape, we call that bacteria bacilli. And if their shapes are spherical, we call them cocci. And if they are spiral shaped, we call them spirilla. So these are the classification of bacteria, and these points are all related to the bacteria microorganisms. So you should know, you should learn these points. Whenever questions come in your exam and a question asks please explain bacteria, then you have to mention all these points in your notebook there or in your answer sheets there. Okay, so we're going to discuss our next microorganism, and the next microorganism is algae. Next is algae. Algae is again a simple organism like bacteria. Their body is not complex like us in the same way like bacteria, but they have plant-like features in their body. Plant-like features, what are plant-like features that you have done in the cell chapter? They have cell wall, they have chlorophyll. What is the meaning of the presence of chlorophyll? Means they perform photosynthesis. Algae can perform photosynthesis just like a plant, but they are plant-like, not accurate features that are the same features of plants, because they does not have leaves, they do not have roots, they do not have flowers. But the presence of chlorophyll perform a major task, that is photosynthesis. Okay. Number 2, are they unicellular or multicellular? They are both. They can be unicellular and they can be multicellular. Okay. Number 3, their location, where they found, where they are occurs. They occurs in the water, they occur in the ponds, lakes, rivers, rock surfaces, hot springs, moist soil. Means where the presence of water, they resides there. Okay, there is a link up of water and algae. There is a lifeline, and the lifeline is water. Means wherever where the water exists, they will reside there. The maximum chances of the presence of algae there if there is a chances of water there. Okay. So next are the examples. There is no particular classification like bacteria, but we have some examples of bacteria like Spirogyra, Fucus, and Laminaria. These are the major examples and important examples of algae. These are very small topics as compared to bacteria. This topic is very small. In this class, in this 8th class, we are discussing these microorganisms. We are just taking the information, the basic information of these types. And the elaboration and discussion, detailed discussion will come in the higher classes like 9th and 10th. We will discuss in this details in that classes. Okay, so need not to worry that we have to we're going to do elaboration of this topic. No, we are just giving, or we are just taking the basic information. These are the basic 4 points, only 4 points. So these are the basic informations we should know also. Okay, so next organism is protozoa. Next organism is protozoa, and these are the some basic characteristics and features of this microorganism. This organism is again simple like bacteria and algae, and this protozoa is unicellular, not multicellular like algae. Algae is both. They can be unicellular, algae can be unicellular, multicellular, but this protozoa is only unicellular. But interesting fact is that protozoa shows animal-like characteristics. Algae shows plant-like characteristics, but these protozoa shows animal-like characteristics, and you will know very soon. We are going to discuss how. Number 2, they can move from place to place. They can be mobile. Algae cannot move, bacteria cannot move. They can, if we talk about algae and bacteria, they can move with the help of air, water, but they cannot move by itself. But this protozoa can move by itself. It is mobile in nature. What is mobile? That can move from one place to another place. Number 3, how they eat food. They hunt food like us. We can hunt food. They capture food and eat that food. Capturing is not the feature of bacteria and algae, but this protozoa show this type of feature. That's why we call this is a unicellular organism that have animal-like features. Okay. Next, where they occur? They are present in the fresh. They can be present in fresh water. They can be present in salty water. Even they present in some cases. They present in soil also. Next, their nature, their behavior. Protozoa can be parasites. What do you mean by parasites? Parasites are the organisms which are depend on the body of other organism for the food, for living. Even our body shows, or you can say, become a host for another organism. Means our body providing food for the other organisms, small organisms which are present inside our body. So parasites are that type of organisms which present inside the other microorganism body and eating food inside that bodies. So that type of organism is called parasites. And those bodies which provide food to the parasites are called host. So we are host for the bacteria and all microorganisms which are present inside the body, because our body providing food, or you can say provide space for their living. Okay, so there's two words, parasite and host. Host that provides benefit, and parasites that are taking benefits. Okay. Now some important examples of protozoa. Amoeba, Giardia, Parameciums are the important examples of protozoa. Next microorganism is fungi. Again, fungi are simple microorganisms, just like other microorganisms that we have done. And it can be unicellular and multicellular. It can be unicellular and multicellular. And again, it's showing a plant-like features, but there is a different point. It does not have chlorophyll. Means it cannot make their own food. It cannot perform photosynthesis. And next point is, they can be parasites and saprophytes. Parasites, we know, that feed on another body, that depends on another living organisms. But what is the meaning of saprophytes here? Saprophytes are organisms which depend on the dead bodies or dead remains, or you can say fleshes or meat, dead and decaying substance. That type of organisms are called saprophytes. So fungi can be parasites and saprophytes because they do not have option, because they do not have chlorophyll. The absence of chlorophyll is there. So how can it make their own food? It has to depend on other things, like it can be parasite and saprophytes. Okay, they can be unicellular, multicellular, and showing plant-like features. Next, they are present everywhere. Just like bacteria, they are present everywhere. From the desert to the cold region, they are present everywhere. In this room, they are also present here. How they grow? What are the best conditions for the development or the reproduction of fungi? The best condition is atmosphere should be dark, warm, and moist. If places are moist, dark, and warm, fungi grow very well in that type of places. And the examples of fungi are yeast, never forget, yeast, bread mold, and mushroom. These are the most important examples of fungi. Okay. Next and the last microorganism is virus. Last microorganism is virus. It is our duty to understand the basic characteristics of viruses, because we are facing the circumstances that is created by this virus. COVID-19 is also a virus. They are the smallest microorganism in the family of microorganisms. They are very tiny. We cannot see with the help of simple microscope light microscope, we cannot see. They are very small. We can see only through the electronic microscope. Even they do not have cellular structure like other microorganisms. Bacteria is made up of single cell, algae is made up of cell. They do not have cellular structure, means they do not have nucleus, they do not have cytoplasm, they do not have cell membranes. But they have a characteristics of nucleus. We will discuss in higher classes later. So if they do not have cellular structure, how can we say that it is a living? Virus is the only microorganism that exists in the borderline, that exists between living and non-living. Virus is living और नॉन लिविंग के बीच में प्रेजेंट होता है. Why? Because if they do not have cellular structure, they cannot reproduce by their own. वो खुद से रिप्रोडक्शन नहीं कर सकता. It needs the host cell. वो आपकी बॉडी में होस्ट सेल का यूज करता है. ऐसा सेल जो बेनिफिट प्रोवाइड करता हो, जिससे वो बेनिफिट ले रहा हो वायरस, उसको हम होस्ट सेल बोलते हैं. Imagine this is a single cell of your body. This is nucleus, this is cytoplasm, and the outer is cell membrane. If virus is present here, that तभी वो रिप्रोडक्शन कर पाएगा. अगर वो होस्ट सेल के अंदर नहीं है तो रिप्रोडक्शन नहीं कर सकता. मीन्स इट यूजेस योर सेल फॉर द रिप्रोडक्शन, फॉर द स्प्रेड ऑफ देयर फैमिली. अगर उससे अपनी फैमिली को इंक्रीज करना है, अगर वायरसेस आपकी बॉडी में स्प्रेड होने हैं, तो वो आपके सेल का यूज करता है, आपके सेल के फूड्स को कंज्यूम कर लेता है, उनके कंपोनेंट्स को डिस्ट्रॉय कर देता है, और आपका सेल बर्स्ट हो जाता है, फट जाता है, बर्स्ट. और जो वायरसेस हैं वो आपकी बॉडी में स्प्रेड हो जाते हैं. फिर वो डिफरेंट सेल का यूज करते हैं, उनको एज अ होस्ट ट्रीट करते हैं, और आपकी बॉडी के अंदर बहुत ही कम समय में, कम टाइम में वायरस स्प्रेड हो जाता है. कोरोना वायरस या कोविड-19 भी सेम ही केसेस है. वो एक सेल में एंटर करता है, फिर एक सेल से बहुत सारे सेल में स्प्रेड हो जाता है, और इस सेल को भी डिस्ट्रॉय कर देता है. जिस सेल में वो डेवलप हो रहा होता है, रिप्रोडक्शन कर रहा होता है, उसी को वो डिस्ट्रॉय कर देता है. तो इसलिए हम वीक होते चले जाते हैं जब हमें कोई वायरल डिसीज होती है. ओके, सो दीज आर द some basic characteristics of viruses. In the next video, we will discuss some another topics of this chapter. Bye.